I would like to ask you about challenges of the teamwork, because obviously the essential part of the work that you have been doing is done as a team, and challenges always happen. And you already touched on that here and there. So maybe to expand a little bit, we grow through these challenges that we overcome and that we face, and we learn from them. So would you say that you feel better equipped for further experience because of this experience that you have had? And what has changed in you as a result of this teamwork? One friend keeps telling me, he's a TS member, he says, if you want to really practice Theosophy, get on a committee. So learning from that experience, what changed in you? What have you gained? And also, additionally, maybe some anecdotes from experience of your work. And maybe Elena, and maybe you could start.
Okay. Challenges are, there are always challenges in our lives. It is something that we always face, but everything that is coming to us that challenges is an opportunity to, I always go there, but to understand us better and to actually grow and improve our personalities and yeah. That's it. We always, and all the things that are coming to outside are a reflection of our internal state. So this is why we can get in touch with ourselves better, facing challenges.
Thank you. Anyone?
I think that your friend has it exactly right. I don't know. For me, I have this idea that I'm this, calm person around others, and then I'm actually around others and I realize I'm not. So to me, being on a committee like this helps me realize, keeps me humble about how much work I have to do on myself, because my emotions flare up so often, and that's our sign to look at it. And we can't do it any other way other than just being in these situations.
Yes, I agree. I think there is this mix of interpersonal skills, because we have to work with other people, and also about what to do. So once, we may have aspirations of, okay, this project is worth doing, this, let's go different ways. And then how to do it. That is the next step that also sometimes it's a challenge. Well, in a practical way, for example, since we are dealing with international, the sphere of activity is international, time difference, for example. That is one thing that, in order to get to meet with people all together, well, this is very basic, but okay, that was one challenge, for example. And but okay, then it also requires some flexibility, some understanding, and then try to be creative and finding new ways how to accommodate things. And well, overall, there are several things that you learn once you face these issues. Then this is how, and like this, many other things. So yes, I agree. Once you're in a committee and you have to organize and you have to, do things on your own, then from start to finish, the whole, there's a chain of things, of steps, and the different things have to happen. If you are planning for a meeting, okay, the graphics, the design, the communication, all these things have to happen. And then, you get to learn all these little things that are involved. It's good to, I think it's a good experience for anyone, because then you're better prepared for this and more. And then, you can keep learning.
I think to add on, I feel strongly I can perceive my mental limitations. I have a strong idea of what might work and what might not work, and various principles. We all have principles, but how do we apply them in particular situations. That's when you can really see our different upbringing, our different conditioning. But with all these challenges, one thing that I really have to say, because I've had, joined many gatherings, only a couple of youth gatherings, not as many, not the RDR ones, but from the few youth gatherings that I managed to join, I learned something, that when we come together as youths, we were able to let things flow. Things just flow. Even if we didn't plan something specifically, we managed to things just happened, and they happened smoothly. But I didn't know that is something exceptional until other gatherings where if you don't plan something, then it really doesn't happen. And even if you want to go with the flow does not everyone wants to go with the flow, then because you have maybe perhaps generational gaps, for instance, then that's when I realized, wow, the youths of different countries who all have so vastly different personalities are able to flow together. And when we can be spontaneous, like today, okay, this program, let's do this instead. And we managed to do it well, which might not have happened in another gathering, even though it may be a theosophical gathering. So that's something unique.
Yes, I agree. I also like very much this flowing things, that if we would have an evening free, we will think up something. It will just come out like organically, and it will be like best discussion ever, although we didn't even plan it, or like, yeah. But one of the things about like the complications or things in the board, I think one of the things that I really liked that we did, we didn't have, we didn't just vote. We discuss if we had different opinions about something. We discussed about that. We had like kind of this sociocratic seeing of things. So we really appreciated each other's opinion, and we wanted to understand what is the best for everyone. And since we were such a small group, 7 of us, we could afford this. But at the same time, some of the gatherings went longer because of that. But I think it's worth, because of that, we were same understanding. It's not just vote yes or no, but you really understand why this one person who puts no, what is behind it, and then maybe more people will change it or change the propositions somehow. And this is something I want to take to the future also with me, because this is the basis that you really understand what is going on, and you want to understand, and you want to appreciate everybody's thoughts and the way they see, and you want to be that everybody will be in the same page, and that then these flowing things can happen. Yeah.
Did everyone share?
I guess Chris and me haven't. Chris, please.
Okay. I was thinking of the challenges that we encountered, but I didn't really feel like there was any exceptional challenge that we had. Sometimes we had some small misunderstandings, but they weren't really that big. Sometimes, for example, we have a meeting, and then I would write down the minutes of the meeting, and then I would say, we came up with decision A. And then once the meeting comes up, people will say, did we decide decision A? I thought we were talking about decision B. And then sometimes people would say, did we decide? I thought we haven't decided yet. I thought we were going to finish it the next meeting. But I think that was the major thrust of it. There wasn't really much conflict between us. There wasn't any major challenges. And then not just for the board, I think that for most part for the WFYT, when we see each other, even in gatherings, we're just so excited to see each other. It's like if problems come in, they just fall out because we think that, oh, we're so excited to see each other, it doesn't matter, we're just gonna do it, we're just gonna have a good time, we're just gonna enjoy it. So I guess that's what Mirike and Brandon was talking about the flow. And I guess that's something that I'll miss with the WFYT, because we're just so excited to see each other, to be with each other. And even if problems or challenges come up, they're just like, we can get past through this. It's just a minor thing. The important thing is we're here together, and we're so excited to be with one another.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking, am I very idealistic or forgetful? Because I cannot remember any moment of confrontation. But now what Chris just said, I understand. I mean, it's just so good to be there with everyone that these things come just in a second plane. And I think there is a fundamental ingredient for this, and is the trust. I guess not only we trusted the flow of life, but we trusted in between us. I mean, I have completely 100% trust in the integrity, the motivation, the complete humanity with all its imperfections of all of us, because none of us is perfect for sure, but there is trust. And when you have trust, I mean, things come so much easy. And I agree with Elena. I guess the challenges are really inside of us. Anything that could have happened that triggers some kind of discomfort or thing, I guess it talks about, or it talked about myself, and the challenge was for me to be overcome and not to say, oh, it's because this person did that or this person said the other. No, it talks directly to me. And a lot of learnings, like for the practical life, time management, planning, etc. I mean, a lot of learnings more than challenges. And those learnings, of course, come from those inner challenges. And that regarding to the board, the work in the board. I know that this is not exactly the question, but when Svyatoslav mentioned about challenges, I was thinking maybe in some challenges with the work of the Federation in general, that I see there is a challenge that especially for me, that is, but it's also an opportunity, of course, is the possibility to reach more people and to be able to support and enhance the work locally in different places, and especially in places that cannot communicate in English, because we are a very strong community in English, and those who know the English language, of course, they can easily access. But I guess it's important that in a local level, we as okay, now the new board, of course, as board of the Theosophical Society, the World Federation of the Theosophical Society, take that leadership to enhance the work in locally, and to strengthen this kind of community, creation of community in this place. That's basically one of the challenges that I see, and I think is worth taking in front for the upcoming boards forever. Yeah.
I feel like from all of your sharings, I'm really motivated by your optimistic view of the challenges that comes up when you work in a group. So I completely agree. When you work with people, they say that when you're friends with someone, it's easy, but when you work with your friend, you might, you might fall out with your friend. Worst case scenario. That's so, but of course, it's a different kind of formula almost when a group of spiritual seekers who are also young. So the flexibility, the open-mindedness comes in as well. And I think it makes it possible for a unique formula of teamwork, like you guys have mentioned. So, and I feel like this kind of attitude that you have towards working together for the board must have helped you place like the purpose in its rightful place. So like Catalina mentioned as well, like always, like the purpose of what you're doing would be central to to your discussions and all that. So what we would like to know what your individual purposes are coming into work in the WFYT board. How has it changed? What's your motivation? Yeah.
Just a clarification. When you say individual, you mean like individual
So
or
I guess the purpose is more or less the same for everyone. To kind of to help the youth have like a sense of belonging in the TS, and to spread, to popularize Theosophy as well. But individually, it may be a little bit different. So how would you describe or your role in this? What would your role be? What is the purpose? What is your purpose? And how have you kept it going during your term? Or how has it evolved as well? So
Okay,
It's a good question. Sorry, go ahead, Helena.
No, please go
Okay.
go first.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a good question because there's so many different avenues in the TS that we could be working and helping, you know, locally in our lodge, if our country has a section, all these different things. And for me personally, for most things, almost everything, I can see that there's someone else who can do it better, more effectively than I can. But there are not that many young people where I'm from in the United States who are interested in understanding how the rest of the world thinks. And for me, even though I can see that I'm not very good at interacting with people and doing these things, that is a special niche that I have the capacity to go into. And it's not necessarily an intellectual thing the way that I make it sound. It's more kind of like a feeling that this is what I'm supposed to do. And that feeling is kind of a recurring theme in my life, where if there's something I'm supposed to do, I don't know if you want to call it discernment or whatever, there's a feeling that kind of points me in that direction. And I think for the WFYT, that's what it's been.
Yeah, I would say I agree with what Seth said, and I would say that for me it was something, well, a little similar, because since the reactivation of the World Federation, well, I really thought that this was something that it was important by itself, like to have this, this, well, in a way it's a platform, in a way it's a space for young people to connect. And I didn't have a specific purpose, but I was just willing to help, to support it, to make it grow, to start into a new revival phase, or whatever it could develop into. So it was just more, well, maybe it would be idealistic, I would say, not a very specific purpose, but I kind of felt that it was good, that it could be worthy and it could be useful for people, its existence. And so, yeah, this is how I went along, and then, okay, everything comes together.
Yeah, I agree with Sarah and Seth just said, and I've been the social media manager, and I mean social media officer, sorry. And this because my intention was to spread as much as I could the theosophical teachings, to reach young people that were maybe alone. Because this is something that happened to me when I was alone with my interests. I was not able to find someone to talk with about these kind of things, and my idea, it was, okay, let's help as much as young people as possible to understand what theosophy is, and what kind of tool they can find here, and how they can apply and so also. But what I understood is that we have to do it in our lives, in our daily life. We have to speak about theosophical teachings in of course, not in an academical way, but we have to include the theosophical teachings in our lives. We have to live those teachings. Someone was saying this before, and I believe it, strongly believe it. Brandon, I think, was saying this, and I strongly believe it, because we can only through the example we can inspire other people, and it's something that we have to do it in our lives, not only because we are officers of the WFYT, but because this is the right thing to do. And yeah, this is always what I try to do in the board, also to do the right thing, not only what I want to do, but what is the thing that most people can benefit from.
I agree with what most of you said, especially with Clover. And I feel a resonance for what you guys actually mentioned. My work for the TS has always been for the popularizing or the spreading of the ageless wisdom. And like you've mentioned, not in a religious or dogmatic sense or not in an academic sense, because really, I honestly 100% believe that if everybody would live the principles of theosophy every day, the world will really be a better place. So that's why my work with the TS has always been to try to spread the theosophical teachings in a way that is applicable to our daily lives. And I think that for the World Federation of Young Theosophists, similar to what you all mentioned, it's also doing that, but with a specific target audience of the youth. And I think we were able to do that in a way, because there were projects like Brandon's outreach projects, sets weekly discussions. It was like a lodge meeting, an online forum where everybody was able to talk and share their thoughts. I think that is an essential step to helping us to popularize theosophy. Um, in theosophy, we say that all is karma, karma is all, and all is well. And to me, that means that the outcomes are some things that we cannot control. So whether or not we were successful in spreading theosophy on an international or worldwide level, it's out of our hands. But the mere fact that we tried, we did our part within the divine plan. And I think that that was the important thing for me for the WFYT, that we did our part to make the ancient wisdom available to everyone, especially to the young ones.
Has everyone shared?
Yeah. So I think before, and it wasn't before so much becoming a member of the board, but maybe before meeting first time in Northern, because I felt like this was like the point that puts a lot of things in my life like going on, but also the board, because every time, like you said before we meet, I felt like so much inspiration and light inside that I can really do anything. But before, I would say I would do some things in my lodge, in the lodges around in Estonia, and I feel it was still like a hobby, or it wasn't like that kind of serious. But over those 2 years, I felt like very strongly I should come to Adjar. I should put things that everything that I do is for this purpose. Like before meeting first time in Northern, I would not even thought about such a thing. But in 2 years, bit by bit, it came to this point that I want to do more, and this is so natural. It's not like I want to be able to do more, and at the same time, I understand how much I have to learn here, and how much like those things that we were doing, like could I do something that Sarah or Catalina was doing, or Elena? I mean, I could if I really take it into my mind that I have to learn it, but yeah. I am so glad that we had such a wonderful team together. And I so much hope that we are keeping this feeling of this spiritual family feeling. And I really feel like we should continue doing something together, because it does not just end when you get in a certain age. You have felt it, so you will have this memory all your life. And I think we should do something about it. Yeah.
Can I add something to what Marika just said? Because you just make me think that our board was great, because we were all complementing each other. We were not we were all with different how to say
flavors.
Talent.
Yeah, with different capacities. Yeah, we all have our own individuality, which complement perfectly with the other. So it was very dream team. Yeah.
Yes, totally. I agree with that. It was like a perfect synchronicity between all of us. And Crystal was talking about the divine plan, no? It's that the way that happens when you trust. The things just, I mean, you don't have to do much effort, conscious effort. The only thing you have to do is put yourself available for whatever comes with the best intention. And I guess that when I was thinking about the intentions, of course there are these intentions of propagation, theosophy, build community, reach more people, searching new ways to express the ancient wisdom. All these are these external purposes that are important to achieve things, to achieve goals in life, and to do the work that we have to do. But the inner motivation was, I mean, to help, to serve, to do the best that I could for that to happen. And I guess in that sense, all of us were in a very good symphony, and that I could sense that every moment. I mean, even when we meet online, I could sense that. And we were used to meet in person. I mean, it was even more. It was kind of the heart feeling, a big, warm feeling, and those things. But yeah, the intention is just to be available for what has to come. That has to be the main intention in everything that we do in life. And with you guys, I learned that even more. Yeah.
Thank you very much for sharing. We have like 12 minutes left, so maybe we can try some quick fire questions. And yes, just
the
maybe
highlight.
yes, thank you. Maybe 10 words, 2 sentences, whatever you feel appropriate. One
First
would
thing that
be,
comes to your mind.
yeah, one question would be is the best part and the worst part. That's the quick fire question about your experience of working as a board of WFYT. Anyone can jump
the
in.
best and the worst.
One best and one worst experience. Yes, during this time and this quality.
The best, I guess I already told, this sense of
Quick fire.
symphony that we have, and the worst that
Sorry, say that again. Sorry.
What? Sorry?
Say that again. I think I interrupted
the
you.
best, I guess it's in synchrony to what I said, this synchrony, this possibility of working together and growing as a group and as persons. In the worst is that I'm going to really miss you guys. That I guess is the worst, because I cannot think in anything worse, and there is nothing bad actually to say.
The worst is the same for me, because I'm going to miss you so much, guys. And the best part was working with you, actually. I mean, that was the best part all the time. Every time we were working together, it was very stimulating. It was very, it was amazing. It was amazing. I'm so grateful to being able to have this opportunity, because it is so precious, and I will keep it in my heart forever. Thank you so much.
For me, the best would be when I went to Adyar and I met every one of you. That was fun. We had a happy time exploring Adyar. We rode on Catalina's motorbike, and
And
we
the song,
sang on the international. And we sang on the international convention. So remember, I can't speak Spanish, but you said that Tagalog or the Filipino language was close enough, so we can just do it. We can just try it. I can't think of any worst experience with anyone, so I'll have to agree that partying would be the worst experience because, like I've mentioned, like our meetings every month, it's something that we got used to already, and I'm gonna miss that. That we're not going to meet almost every other week anymore.
Yeah, we wrote also a song together in Adyar when we were in Adyar. We sang it in front of many people, and it was amazing. It was the first experience of my life, such a kind of experience, so unique. I think it was wow, so powerful. Yeah.
I think the best part for me was in that first meeting in Norden. It was in the afternoon or in the evening, everyone's sitting around in that lunchroom and they start singing Take Me Home to West Virginia or whatever it is. And all these different accents from all over the world. And it's this beautiful thing. And it's, you know, it's pretty much where I'm from, Virginia. And I don't know, I'll never forget that. The worst part is probably leaving just because I have to say something, but in honesty, everything happens exactly the way it's supposed to. So there is no worst part.
Yeah, for me also, I think each time we meet was like the best part. Each time but we also, the ones that we meet in physically, but also the ones that we meet in online. And that's why I'm thinking, why should we not meet? I mean, we could be the export, like we can meet and we can do something. Yeah. We are still alive, we're still young. Yeah. I don't see why this have to be like the worst, because it's worst if you make it first. We can still have this thing alive.
No, of course, and Marike, you can talk about our meeting, our astrology meetings. We are meeting every 2 days, actually. Yeah, but it's the best moment of my day.
Oh, this is so nice. So yeah, you're all welcome. But again, let's do something. If this was the worst, then let's make it doesn't have to be the worst if we do something about it. And if the best one is meetings, then let's find a ways. This is now in our hands.
Yeah, of course, meetings in person are another level, another level of energy, and everything is so enhanced and amplified, and
that's true. Like we'll end with one more quick fire question. This is an interesting one. So what's something you've learned from the person on your right? So we go like this. What's one thing you've learned?
From the person on my right here on the screen.
Oh, you can. It's different for everyone. Okay,
yeah,
Ellen, one thing you've learned from Chris. From Chris.
Oh, okay. I've learned something about the race because he gave a very nice workshop in Adyar. He's very knowledgeable about race, and I've learned to be very disciplined. He's always on there, and to write properly every time after each meeting he was sending the details of what we discussed, and this is something I learned from him, and I'm trying to put in the astrology group now. I'm trying to apply this in astrology group. Thanks, Chris.
Okay, Chris, about Brandon.
Well, Brandon. This is pretty tough. um, well, aside from our meetings in Anyar, we also had gatherings between Singapore and the Philippines. I remember he once told me that to the eyes of some of the Singaporeans, like Filipinos are very happy people, and that our standards are sometimes not as high as other nationalities. And I was thinking about that for some time, and I guess to a certain extent that's true. In Filipino language, they have a saying about that um, we shouldn't be content with just what we have. We always have to strive better. So that's one thing on top of my head. And second, he's always emphasizing that whatever we learn in theosophy, it should be experiential. It should not be just something that we read about, we contemplate about, or we think about. It should be something that we always do or try to apply in our life.
Thank you. Brendan, about Seth.
So I feel that I have learned, because Seth is really committed. So once he starts something, he really sticks to it. And I think not just from Seth, but everyone, but particularly Seth shows the spirit of youth, and that he's always fresh, he's always there, and the fire of theosophy seems to be burning. So I've learned how to it's more like a question I have because of that, because everyone was young before. So what made people grow old? And what prevents me from becoming like all the older people who have lost that fire? So I think Seth, and in fact everyone, is posing to me this question that I'm asking myself. How do I keep this flame burning? How do I prevent myself from becoming old like everyone else? Yeah.
Seth, about Catalina.
Would say persistence. And I know that she's been living there in Adyar for a long time, and she's constantly working for years, maybe, I don't know, decades. I don't know how long she's been doing this. Yeah, and that's really an admirable and inspiring thing to see. So
Right, Catalina, about Sarah.
Learned quite a lot of things, but I guess one that I have learned, especially after we could interact more. Okay, when we were working for a long time online, because we worked since that first meeting that we had during the pandemics to revive the World Federation of Young Theosophists there in 2020, 2021. It was a long time ago. Then I always remember that this attention to detail and being very careful with things. I mean, it's incredible, that thing that I learned. But then when she moved here and I could get to know her much more near, there is a big learning that is this peace, like equanimity kind of thing, that I'm a very high person, emotional, impulsive, these kind of things. But when I interact with Sarah, I feel that this fire gets like a calm place. And I guess that's something very nice that I have learned from her, and I try to apply it in my daily life as much as possible, even if it is difficult, because my nature is different in that sense. But yeah, those are the two things. Yeah.
Oh, Mary Kay came back at the right moment. Sarah, what's one thing you have learned about from Mary Kay?
Right now, the last few months, Mary Kay just moved to Adyar, so I've been spending some more close time with her, although she's working for. But Mary Kay is a kind person, very kind, I think she's very empathic also. And she has so many good qualities. She's detail-oriented. She has a very, detailed, no? I mean, she can think about, I don't know. I mean, in general, it's that she's a very, very good person. So there are so many things I could tell. But generally, she's like a fairy.
I agree in the
And
fairy
she's so
part.
artistic.
I can
I've seen her
dedicate-
drawings.
One word says it all. Yeah. Mary Kay, can you say that share one thing that you have learned from Elena?
Elena, wow. I learned many things from her. She was the one who introduced me Canva, and I have done a lot of work to the Canva, to the DS, and sharing every day a code because of her. I got to do it really nicely. But I think one thing that I really learned when we first met, that how powerful could mantra be. Like when we said it together, I could never she made me understand how powerful is this, and remember how we were walking in Narden with barefoot, and to have the connection with the earth, and wow, yes. And then later in Greyvilla, and then later in York, and then so on. And I'm like, each time, we are very closely also born, so our birthdays are very similar. We have less than 1 month time difference. So we also have a lot of planets, very similar places. And if you want to learn more about that, then please come to our next astrology class. But I can learn astrology from her. Like we are learning it together. We are doing it as a group work, and she's giving the possibility to do it together, to discuss it. And I really like that she's so oriented of doing it as a group, not like one person is leading and doing. And so thank you.
I think it's wonderful to see how, I mean, I can easily see how we can spend 4 meetings like this easily, because we just started, it seems, to talk.
Yes.
And also, we need to finish for now, but I want to share that it's wonderful to see how it's when we think how to benefit others that we benefit ourselves most, it seems. And also this feeling of unity is that we share, is a blessing that it's impossible to put in words. So let's share more of it. That's what I would like to say at the closing. Thank you.
Thank you for gracing our podcast today with your presence and your wisdom. And thank you for working together and setting up this amazing dynamic for future boards to come. And that's the end of this podcast.
Thank you for being with us and watching this episode of Theosophical Insights. We are available on all podcast streaming platforms as well as on YouTube. If you've liked this program, please remember to tick the like button and subscribe to our channels. You can also visit the website of the World Federation of Young Theosophists, WFYT.org, to find out more about all the